Hey there, I'd like to talk a little bit today about how the paleo diet works for fat loss and do a little bit of myth busting about how it doesn't work. So, I've had so many people contact me and tell me that they have been eating paleo for several months and they're either not losing weight, which was their goal, or they may even be gaining weight. So, this is where we need to get clear on a few things because that can be very frustrating. So, the first thing that I guess I want to clear up is that while paleo definitely focuses on food quality, and that's awesome. So we're getting so many health benefits. We're reducing inflammation. We are improving mitochondrial function, which is, the powerhouse of the cells. We are stabilizing blood sugar. We are, removing potentially irritating or allergenic foods, all kinds of benefits. But if you are trying to lose weight, I'm going to tell you how it works and what might be tripping you up a little bit. So by removing a couple of big categories of carb-dense, nutrient-devoid foods, we are often spontaneously reducing our caloric intake. So since paleo does not include processed foods or refined sugars, that is a big part of many people's Western diets, right? I know it was for me for sure. We're talking pizza and bread and chips and candy, muffins, cookies, that kind of thing. So if you're taking out these whole categories of food and replacing the real estate on your plate with protein, with vegetables, with healthy fats, with some fruit, maybe some nuts and seeds, holy smokes, those foods are very hard to overeat, honestly. Unless you are ladling on the fat, which I'm going to get to that point here in a minute, it's very difficult to overeat this paleo diet, right? So there is a spontaneous calorie reduction without people tracking, without people being hungry or, honestly, I've had so many clients tell me, I don't know if I can eat this much food. And I know they're eating fewer calories, but the volume of food is so much more than they had been eating. And the fact is that empty carbohydrates and sugar, they're just really not filling. They certainly don't keep us full and satisfied between meals, unlike the fiber in vegetables, the protein in, high quality meat sources. Those send signals to our body that we are full. They slowly mete out energy into our bloodstream and we're not having these blood sugar peaks and valleys, which, I've talked about in other videos. That's what leads to cravings, right? So if you've got this stable energy between meals, you're not, going and digging in the cupboard or in the vending machine between meals, again, spontaneous calorie reduction. So this is how paleo works. There are a few other details that we can talk about. We're improving the quality of the gut microbiome, which research is showing, a lot of those pathogenic bacteria that sugar feeds can be obesogenic. They cause inflammation. A lot of these things, toxins that build up in our cells, these can all contribute to stalled fat loss. They can contribute to hypothyroidism, which we know if our thyroid isn't working optimally, that, that's, a big part of our metabolism. So there are lots of other issues, but I kind of wanted to bring it back to, the basics of energy balance for the sake of this video. I don't want to get too far afield, which I am prone to doing. So again, going back to the folks that have contacted me and they're frustrated with their lack of results in terms of weight loss. So I'll ask them what they're eating, and I'm hearing a lot of nuts coming in, lots of avocado, maybe butter coffee in the morning, butter or coconut oil on everything. Fat is very calorically dense. And of course, I'm not demonizing fat. There's really a place for healthy fat. We need it for, hormone function, for so many things. But we need to understand if our goal is fat loss, that fat can add up very quickly. So if you are already eating a steak, maybe a baked potato, some vegetables, you don't necessarily need to add a lot more fat, right? So again, just be aware of the fat sources on your plate. Do you have 3 fat sources, right? This can add up. So I don't want people to get frustrated and kind of go back to the standard American diet. This diet is, good for so many things. And, I want people to figure out how it can work for them, whatever their goals may be. But I need people to understand that, we can be bringing in a lot of extra calories if we're noshing on nuts or nut bars or nut butters or, again, these dense sources of fat throughout the day, then that can stall us out a little bit. So we just need to be aware of what we're eating. So I hope that cleared up a few things. I still owe you a video on where to start with your macros, and I will get that to you as soon as I can. But I think that this is a kind of a good baseline for understanding, what you're doing. Again, paleo does not necessarily equal fat loss. It can be very, very helpful in that we can eat fewer calories without feeling hungry, with our energy being stable, and that is amazing. I know that was such a huge gift for me and for my clients. So hopefully this was helpful, and I will tune back in very shortly with some of the other information that we talked about macros and where to start. Take care.